Hey, everybody, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10-ish minute review on the all-new John Talks Indian Cinema. That's right, I'm still a maniac. I am, but we got a new channel. I'm excited. This is review number 2. So the review I'm going to do today was a recommendation from a long-time viewer on the other channel who has already subscribed to the new channel. I want to call him out. It's at Nishan6966. Great fan of ours, reaches out, has a lot to talk about. Really got me into cricket too, Nish. I call him Nish, by the way. You got me into cricket. But the movie he recommended was a pretty recent film that's now on Netflix called Laapataa Ladies from 2023. It was directed by Kiran Rao, who is the wife of Aamir Khan. So she's one lucky gal. This is only her second film that she directed. The first, and I actually saw it, the Mumbai Diaries. I saw that. Also starring Nitanshi Goel, who was in MS Dhoni that I've seen, Pratibha Ranta, Sparsh Shrivastava, Chaya Kadam, who actually I've seen in a lot of stuff, Anhadhun, Jawan, Pachuvum, Albathavilacum. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you've been around and you're a fan of the old channel, you know I sometimes mess up the pronunciations. If you're new to the channel, you don't know that. I work very hard to get the pronunciations right, but sometimes they are tongue twisters, so I do struggle a little bit. So for the most part, it was an unknown cast, at least to me. I hadn't seen them in a lot of stuff. And this was well, let's talk about the story. Okay. So the story, and it starts pretty quickly. Two couples recently married are on a train. Both the brides are wearing wedding saris with veils, and they're identical saris. So you can already, without even knowing the story, you can see what's going to happen here, right? So through circumstances, they get swapped. So the Deepak leaves with who he thinks is Pool, and it ends up being Jaya. Now, so the story is once this happens, how do they get back to their respective spouses if indeed that's what they want to do? It's also a film about women empowerment. Now, for those who have, who used to watch the old channel, you know this, but the new channel, I'm all for women empowerment unless they force feed it down your throat. And then that offends me. And this movie did not do that, but it was a very powerful women empowerment film. But I loved the story. And it's really about the two women, and it's how one of the brides, Pool, finds her husband and finds purpose, even though she wants to be with him. But a little self-discovery of the hardship she had to go through while she was lost. I mean, this was a girl. First of all, I don't know how old this actress is, but she looked really young, and her voice sounded really young. And her innocence, she couldn't name the village that she came from. She didn't know I don't know if it wasn't his first name, maybe the last name. So no one could really steer her in the right direction. And Jaya, who, for reasons that become evident as the movie goes on, finds a way to get away from the life that she was being slotted for to make better. And so two women empowerment stories for two separate reasons. And along the way, it's the characters they meet, the people they meet, that made this pretty compelling. So I'm going to give the story, I'm actually going to give it a 4. And by the way, my rating scale is 1 to 5, 1 being not so great, 5 being great. So I'm going to give the story a 4. It was unique. It got right into the story right away. This is not a long film, so it's tight. So I enjoyed it. Now, a little bit about, I like to call out some things. I don't want to, I used to do a whole story synopsis. I'm not going to do that. But they all got lost on January 29th. Why is that significant, you might ask? That's my birthday. So when I heard that date, I was like, niche, little karma. Thank you for that on the new channel. Um, so and it did get I'm not gonna lie, it got a little confusing of who was with who. And Jaya had like 3 different names. She was Pushpa, and then she was Shreya, and then her real name was Jaya. So it did get a little confusing because you weren't sure if she was a con woman or what her deal was, right? So that did get a little, you know, and the guys. Part of the reason why there was confusion, the guys were Deepak and Pradeep were dressed almost the identical way on the train, so they actually looked the same, which is how they justify the mix-up. Why the bride would go with her because he looked enough like her. Um, so they meet people, and I actually found the Fool's story more compelling than Jaya's story. I don't know. One, because she was a lovely girl, but she was very young, and she met people who were, what's the word I want to use? It's not a caste thing either. It's not like lower caste, but they were working by the train station trying to eke out a living, and they took her under their belt. Um, and through that relationship, she became self-sufficient. She became a little more outward. And the woman who played the grandma, they kept calling her grandma, I thought was wonderful in this. And their scenes were beautiful, especially at the end when they finally find where the husband is and she goes off to the train by herself, and that goodbye, very emotional. And then there's a scene where um, Poole makes a sweet. I don't know what it was, but and grandma's giving it to people. And they said, well, why don't you try it? She goes, well, I have nothing to celebrate, so I'm not going to do that. But at the end of the movie, when she knows Poole found the family, she's eating it. She doesn't make a big deal out of it, but she's eating it because now she has something to celebrate. I thought that was beautiful. I really liked that a lot. The other thing that was the other character that was just amazing was the cop, the inspector, who, by the way, Aamir Khan, whose wife directed this, auditioned for the role, but thought the actor Ravi, I should know his last name, and I don't have that, did better than he did. So he didn't want the role. And the guy was great because the way they played his character, they kind of made him comic relief. Yeah, Ravi Kishan played the inspector. They made him and his I don't know, lieutenant, whatever, comic relief because they were trying to figure out who Jaya was, and they thought she was a thief. Um, so every scene with them, and he also had, I think it was what's it called, pan in his mouth, no, like this. Always had it in his mouth when he was talking, except for one scene, which I'll get to in a second. So he was kind of a goof, and he wasn't on the up and up. He was on the take. Everyone's giving him money all the time, and he ends up really turning in Jaya through his investigation, which was always comic relief. Even the music kind of reflected that. I kept thinking Inspector Clouseau, Peter Sellers, but then he has a redemption scene that was just an amazing scene because you weren't expecting it. Because Jaya doesn't want to go with her husband because he's a bad guy, and the husband comes to the police station to pay off the cop to get Jaya back, and he's playing along, and then all of a sudden he turns and he becomes really the hero to Jaya, and it was a beautiful scene. And he didn't have the pawn in his mouth, and he was much more serious. But the way he played, there was still a little hint of humor, but it was a beautiful scene. And her reaction to him doing this act of kindness was beautiful too. So I thought he was really good in this movie. So okay. Oh, by the way, pool and pushpa are Hindi words for flowers, which is appropriate because at the end of this movie, both of them bloom. Now, these are the kind of nuggets you get on John Talks Indian Cinema. Yeah, you get these kind of nuggets. Anyway, so yeah, I really loved this movie, and it was a sweet movie. It was um it was just a pleasant watch. You cared about the characters. You wanted to know how they were going to get out of this. It was a light movie. The tone of it didn't have these giant tonal shifts. It was just a nice, and at the end when things go the way they go, it was you get a little. I'm not gonna lie, you get a little twinge. It's a very emotional thing, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks, Nish, for that. Now the performances. I have to say that I thought all the performances were really good, and of course you've got the two leads. And I don't know a lot of their career because I haven't seen any of their movies other than a couple of them, but I thought they were excellent, and they were real. It wasn't over the top stuff like you see in a lot of Bollywood movies. So I'm going to give the performances, and again, the side characters I thought were really good in this. They really brought something to it. But to me, the police inspector and the two girls, and even Deepak in the end, showed a lot of emotion because he really loved Pool, and he was heartbroken that he couldn't be with her. And he still, the whole Jaya thing. She lied or thought he lied, and I don't want to give away the whole story, but so I thought he played it really well. The other guy was just a cardboard villain, Pradeep. So he was all right, but I'm going to give the performances four overall. Four. Now the music. Again, what I appreciated about the music in this film, they did not break out in these big musical numbers, which I am not against. I'm a big fan of when they are appropriate to the film. Like the Goat Life, I think had one that was close to what I would call a big musical number. But other than that, they didn't have that. Same thing here. The songs always had a message of the scene that was happening. The first song is when they leave they leave for the train wearing the veil, right? The second song is a flashback of how Pool and Deepak's romance blossomed. So it was a love song. The third song was about Jaya, and it's while the cops are following her, and it's called the girl's a girl to doubt. So again, tongue in cheek, but a key part of the plot. The fourth song, Deepak was pining for Pool, and it was flashing back for him pining for her and her working at the little food stand by the train station that she was getting a lot of raves for. So I thought the music was really appropriate. It fit it. It didn't take away from it. So I'm going to give the music a four. It wasn't overwhelming. It was appropriate with the scenes that it was there for, and there was no distractions of some big number. So yeah. So overall, obviously, based on my scoring method, I'm going to give the movie a four. I really enjoyed it. I think you will like this film if you don't want a long film, if you want something that and this is a culture thing with India and the way women are perceived and the way men perceive them. And I get that. But I think, I really thought they did a nice job with the message of this film without it being like false. Like, this is the message: men are awful. they treat us like crap, and that's the whole message of the film. It wasn't that way. It wasn't, and that's why to me it worked because you saw them both grow and aided by the people around them. Now Jaya helped the family more than like I think Pool's group helped her grow, where Jaya I think helped the family grow that she was with. So it was definitely a contrast. But I think you'll like this film. I know I did. So Nish, thanks again. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to watch next. I think I have a pretty good idea. If you like John Abraham, I think it's going to be a John Abraham film, but I will not tell you which one. Oh, by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, but if you haven't already done so, please, 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 please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. It really does affect the algorithm. And once again, I'm building this channel from scratch. So someday I'm hoping I can get back up to 2,800 subscribers. That's what I'm shooting for. So if you like this stuff, let your friends know about it. You got a recommendation of a film you want me to watch, by all means, put it in the comment section. Just do me a favor. See if you can stream it. Netflix. I've got all the streaming services, Hulu, Amazon. I have Eros. So see if I can stream it. Or if you know a big time movie's coming out that might play in the States, let me know that, because I've certainly been to about 5 of those. Kalki. I saw Kalki in the movie theater. So let me know. All right. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's only the second one. We got another one coming shortly. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you soon with another 10-ish minute review on, say it once, say it twice, third time's a charm, John Talks Indian Cinema. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Zooby dooby nache क्यों पागल stupid man.
Zooby dooby pampara, zooby dooby.